But with that, let's move on to our segment Midcap Spotlight, where Vivek is here with us and he is looking at a whole host of power finance stocks which are surging away. Vivek, it's a 7 to 9% kind of move. What's going on?
Well, absolutely right. So, three stocks, in this particular space, REC, PFC, direct comparable peers, the recently listed name IREDA, it's had a stellar listing. And not only that, REC, PFC, we are talking about it today, but if we're looking at the entire year, these stocks have outperformed and have outperformed quite handsomely. So what's actually happened is that number one, REC today has given out an update to the exchanges where they're saying that they have crossed the disbursement of rupees 1 lakh crore in FY24 so far. Now, for the same comparable period on a year-on-year basis, the disbursement was just a little over 46,000 crore. So, business momentum itself, loan book growth has more than doubled just in the first 8 months of FY24. We spoke to a couple of analysts, we did see, what's actually driving the kind of rally that these stocks have seen. Number one, T&D losses, they have actually reduced quite significantly across the power sector chain, and this has improved the financials as far as state electricity boards are concerned, and this has in turn aided the financials of both REC as well as PFC. Now, the other factor that we're talking about is the loan book growth. So what's actually happened is that India has become quite strong and aggressive in terms of adding power generation capacity, both renewable as well as thermal. In fact, India recently said that there would be 80 gigawatts of thermal capacity addition, and REC, PFC stand to benefit quite significantly because they are the guys who will be giving the loans for this particular capacity addition. Third point is that, number one, because asset quality has increased, the street is willing to ascribe much higher valuations. Remember, these stocks were trading at much lower and depressed valuations for quite some time, trading less than one-time book. Now, it's coming at par with what the street believes that they can do. The fourth point, number one, remember, both of these stocks actually entered the MSCI Standard Index in the, in the previous rejig that actually happened. And on the back of that, increased institutional activity too has happened in these stocks. And lastly, when you're talking about, the IREDA listing, post the listing, IREDA valuations were significantly higher compared to REC and PFC, and in the last couple of trading sessions, you are seeing a bit of a catch-up happening. Some important points: number one, IREDA and PFC, REC aren't exact peers, given the fact that IREDA does largely green financing and supplies or rather services the private sector more. And number two, very interestingly, PFC actually holds over 52% stake in REC, so that's quite important to track as well.
Okay, all right, Vivek. Thanks very much for that. On that note, we're going to take a break. But up next, we have an exclusive conversation lined up with Dixon Tech's chairman, Sunil Vachani. He spoke to us about their new smartphone manufacturing facility in Noida and more. Stay tuned.